come on up. She's short. She wants to come up here on the podium. What's that?
All right, well, thank you so much for letting me come out here and see you guys today. I recognize a lot of faces from other years, and I'm not going to take up a lot of your time, but I just kind of want to remind you guys, or tell you for the first time, about the benefits that you all have with American Income Life. All of the members of all of the fire stations have a $3,000 accidental death and dismemberment benefit. It covers them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It does not have to be an accident that's work-related or fire-related. If they're on vacation down in Florida and something happens, it's still going to be covered. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because that's not when, the best things happen on vacation. So anyway, we've got that. We've also got a health service discount card that gives everybody discounts on vision, hearing, prescriptions, and chiropractic care, all at no cost. And then there's the option to upgrade to the Gold program, and that has a dental discount in it. That's $25 for the first year, $50 for any year they want to keep it after that. But that's completely up to the member if they want to do the Gold program. They can still get the other at no cost if that's what they want. But the good thing about that card is it covers everyone in their household. So even if you all are taking care of nieces or nephews or grandkids, or maybe elderly parents that don't normally fall under your insurance benefits, it's going to help out with their expenses also. Okay. We also have child ID kits, and this is good for anybody that has kids, grandkids, or parents that may have Alzheimer's. It's everything in one place to hand over to the police if someone were to go missing. Again, and that's at no cost to them as well. So the way it works is we send out a packet to each firehouse. Some of you may have just recently gotten them, and some of you all may have gotten them 6 months ago, possibly even a year at this point. What happens is we send that packet to the fire station, and then the fire chief is responsible for getting them out to all the firefighters. Okay? The letter looks something like this. And what it does is it tells the firefighters that they have this AD&D benefit in place just by being a member. And then it also talks about the health service discount card and the child ID kits. If the member is interested in designating their beneficiary, or if they want the discount card and ID kits, they're going to fill out this little card and they're going to send it in. And then from there, one of our representatives will get in touch with them. They'll set up a time to come out and deliver everything to them. They're going to give them their individual certificate of coverage, so they have that for their records. They're going to witness them designating their beneficiaries, so we know we had the right person on file for them. They're going to get their health discount card booklet and however many child ID kits they're wanting. And then they'll do the needs-based analysis for them. And in my opinion, this is the biggest benefit to your firefighters. What it does is it looks at their individual circumstances as far as how many years do they want to retire, or how many kids they're putting through school, and it kind of looks at that and tells them what it's going to take for their family to carry on as close to normal as possible if something were to happen to them. Now, some of your members have all their ducks in a row, and they've thought about life insurance, and that's great. But there are a lot of them that haven't. They don't want to think about life insurance because it's not a fun subject. And it's overwhelming and it's confusing. So it just gives them that person to sit down with, ask questions to, and actually understand what it is that they're looking at. There's no obligation to buy anything. They don't have to do anything to have that AD&D. But once they do send in that reply card, they will get phone calls. Okay? So if they're not interested in actually meeting, just tell them to pick up the phone and tell them you're not interested in meeting. If they keep ignoring it, like a lot of us do when we get phone calls from people we don't know or we don't want to talk to, we ignore them. I do it too. So just tell them if they're not interested in meeting to make sure they pick up the phone and say, I'm not interested in meeting. Because otherwise, they're going to keep getting the phone calls. And they may end up with one of our reps on their doorstep trying to set that appointment up. So we want to make sure that it's a positive experience for everybody. But that kind of we got to work hand in hand with that. But I want to know, if you hear of anything that doesn't rub you the right way, and maybe someone's upset, someone's confused, whatever the case may be, let me know, okay? Fire chiefs, when they got their packet, they should all have my contact information in there. But if you have lost it or whatever, you can't find it, get in touch with any of these people up here. They all know how to get in touch with me. But unfortunately, like was said, we have had to pay quite a few claims for your members. You all have lost a lot of members over the years, and I hate it when I get that call, but I'm glad that we're able to pay those claims for you guys. Just since we've started this partnership with you all, we've paid in both no-cost benefits with the accidental death and dismemberment, and also benefits that your members have taken out with us. We've paid over $198,000 to your members and their families, and it didn't cost the association anything. So that's something that's, you know, it's been a good partnership for you guys. Now, I know that there's probably some people that are maybe seeing me for the first time, and because I heard that there's some new departments that may have just paid their dues this week. So if anybody has any questions, I'm going to stick around down here for a little bit, and you feel free to come out and talk to me, or if you need letters, additional letters, or anything like that, come talk to me. I'm happy to talk to anybody. Okay? You all have a great rest of your week, and hope to talk to you soon.
All right. Honor Guard report. Charlie Rafferty.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed their time with us here in Owensboro. Looking forward to the rest of the conference, the banquet tonight. Hopefully you got to see some of the local flavors around Owensboro. Moonlight, a lot of people have mentioned there. Food's pretty good, so enjoy your stay with us, and hope to see you back in 4 years. After the conclusion of the 2015 conference in Paducah, I assumed the responsibilities with the KFA Honor Guard. The trailer that was in service in that time was in pretty good need of repairs, and fortunately for us, the timing couldn't have been better. The Fire Commission had recently purchased a fleet of trailers to replace some. They were in disrepair, and jokingly, I mentioned getting a new trailer for the Honor Guard, and being the new guy, I thought, well, that's the last thing I'm going to expect for that. Fortunately for us, the Fire Commission generously replaced that trailer with a brand new, larger trailer. I've worked with State Fire Rescue Area 3. The NRPC, National Responder Preparedness Center, gives us a location to stage that trailer. I've worked with Mark Henderson and John Vessels on the layout. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to see the trailer. It's been out front a lot of times this week. We went with the memorial photo to go on the side. Look at that. If you get a chance to check out the trailer, you can actually read the names on the memorial on the side of the trailer. The graphics are that clear. So that's turned out to be something we can all be proud of as far as the trailer goes. As of right now with the uniforms, there's some subtle differences in the jackets. Nobody probably even notices. There's a little bit of blue piping around some of the sleeves that's not consistent throughout all the uniforms. We're currently looking at some different examples of jackets. To do some of those, there's a handful, 4 or 5, that are in need of some repair. So once we make a decision on the new style of jacket, obviously we'll still stay with red. When we are at the National Memorial, people from all over the United States come up and mention our jackets because we're in red and everybody else is in black or blue. So we kind of stand out, and again, something to be proud of from the state of Kentucky. On October 3rd last year, 4 members of the Honor Guard attended the State Fallen Firefighter Memorial in Juniper Hills Park there in Frankfort. Those members were Jeff Poole, Al Wathen, Keith Herm, and myself attended that memorial. 2 of us continued on to the National Fallen Firefighter Memorial that was held the 7th of October in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Those members were Al Wathen and myself. On Thursday, we were able to go over to Washington, D.C. To Arlington National Cemetery and be present for the fallen firefighter wreath being presented there at Arlington. If anybody ever has a chance to take in those services, it's just an amazing service. Very humbling to see our nation support us like they do. On that Sunday, myself and Al were selected to be flag presenters for the Line of Duty Death Battalion. That's something they were shorthanded. They needed some people. They heard us. That we didn't technically have an assignment for the weekend. So we were approached and asked if we'd be flag presenters to 2 fallen firefighters from FDNY. So we got to present an American flag and a rose that went to families of the fallen. On January 5th, unfortunately, the Honor Guard responded with 2 members, myself and Keith Herm, responded to, I lost my place, past president and retired Hazard Fire Chief Joe Turner for his unfortunate passing. So we did attend that funeral. On the 2nd of October, the Honor Guard will be back at the State Fallen Firefighter Memorial there in Juniper Hills Park. Like President Thompson alluded to, there was a big crowd last year. Let's make it a little bigger this year. Fill that place up and cause them to do a little bit of an expansion. That would be awesome to see. I look forward to working with the KFA, Mr. Potter, in his new position in the Fire Commission on a continued partnership between our 2 organizations. That's been a great partnership in the past, and hopefully after we work out a couple wrinkles that may be there, that partnership will continue on. If that's the case, in the coming weeks we'll be registering members for the 38th Annual Fallen National Memorial in October. Usually that has to be done by about the middle of September. So again, we'll make some contact with the Fire Commission, Mr. Potter, get that stuff worked out. We'll get people registered to attend that memorial also. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, sir.
Charlie's done a great job in this role as head of the Honor Guard. Got a comment the other day from someone in the state that said they were a little disappointed that the Kentucky Firefighter Association Honor Guard does not participate in more funerals. That in the past we've done 75 to 80 funerals a year with KFA Honor Guard. I don't know where that nonsense, crazy statistic come from, but there is no way that happened. We'd have to have a full-time staff to do that. So, but we are attending the funerals as requested for those who passed in the line of duty, et cetera, or former dignitaries of our association and so forth. So we will continue to do that, I'm sure, and you know, there's no question where we stand on our beliefs in honoring those that have fallen. Howdy Kirk Sr., legislative.
So right now, Mr. President, I'm just going to start with the committee report of the resolutions from the legislative committee. Everybody should have had in their packets 1 through 7, and I passed out 8, 9, and 10. If you don't have one, you need to let us know.
If you don't have one, they'll be up on the screens.
Okay. There's so many whereases it would take us to.
I think they can read the whereas.
I'm just going to read the resolves on these, yes, and then tell you what the committee did, and we'll have to have a motion. So the first resolution is PF1. The resolve is that the Kentucky Firefighters Association work with the Kentucky Fire Commission to seek changes to the Kentucky Revised Statutes and our administrative regs to allow 3 years to achieve volunteer certification. That motion was to adopt, so we would need a motion to adopt that resolution.
Look for a motion from the floor for adoption. Mr. Hyman, right? Hyman, sorry I said it wrong. Hyman, motion second. Second by Rick Cox from Hallsville. Any question on the resolution? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed likewise. Motion carries.
I guess on that first one, I should have read the title a little bit better. It says for 3 years and 150. I didn't designate that, but everybody should add it on the resolution. PF number 2, resolution certification level. Therefore, be it resolved that the Kentucky Firefighter Association work with the Fire Commission to seek changes to the Kentucky Revised Statutes or administrative regs to develop a new certification upon completion of a determined level of training for the Kentucky Fire Service. And Marshall, did you want to discuss this one? Just the one within the PA? Okay, so I thought he was going to speak on that, but no. So the committee's motion was to adopt.
Okay, here the committee's a motion for adoption. We have a motion. Motion on Benswitz. Who said that? John Daly, you said that? Do you have a second? Dave Jensen?
Just one clarification, the second whereas.
Yeah, I was going to we're going to make a motion to amend that once we get.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
It's now in line, or the second whereas, it says volunteer fire service has a 400-hour certification. There should be an amendment made to change the word volunteer to career, because those are the ones that are mandated for the 400 hours.
Okay.
So I need somebody to make a
Motion
motion.
on the floor. David Jansen as amended to say a career firefighter in the second whereas, career fire service, I should say. We need a second? George Givens, second. Motion is on the amendment. Any questions or concerns on the amendment? Motion's on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Somebody say opposed? Opposed? All right, we have one opposition.
You got to make a motion.
We had a motion and a second for the resolution itself. So the question now, are there any questions or concerns on the resolution itself?
As amended.
Yes, sir, as amended.
What level are they looking for? A higher than 400 or something in between? Or?
Can I speak? Can I speak on that from here?
No, you have to take the floor.
All right, I'll take the floor. A resolution is what we want to do. How we go about doing it is a different story. So we hear a lot of people, how many of you have firefighters that want to know how close they are to their 150-hour certification and how many hours to their 400-hour certification? So there's been, I don't know what you call it. I mean, I've got 10,000 training hours. I don't care if I get another certification that says I'm a master firefighter or whatever, but there are concerns out there amongst ones that they want another level of certification. So where that pans out with recommendations from the Fire Commissioner, State Fire Rescue Training, who knows? But the ask has been for another level of certification. There's not going to be a fight here, Tiny. Come on up. Recognizing. You recognize him.
Get it on.
Go ahead. I recognize you, but I don't know your name.
Harry.
You're the guy that got stuck on the elevator.
That's right. Yeah.
You're the guy that broke the elevator.
That's right, that's right. I'm Eric Henderson, Bronson Fire Department. I just don't see why we need to add an extra level of fire department when you got career certified. Why should anything any bigger than that? You're paid career certified, right? I just don't understand why we need that.
Creator of the resolution want to address that?
That was me.
Okay, you just addressed it.
We're here to represent all fire service in Kentucky, and that was brought up. I don't think there needs to be another one, but I'm okay with them pursuing to say, okay, now you got 1,000 hours of training in a certain subject, and now you're whatever you want to call it. So, you know how it is. It's somebody wants that level of certification.
Somebody just wants that
I'm okay.
Somebody wants that
Right.
extra ego, is what it is.
That could be.
That's what I would call it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll give the floor back to the president.
Two. We're still on the amended resolution. No, you passed the amendment.
That's the amendment. Now on the vote. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the PF2.
Yes.
All right. PF2 as amended. Any other questions? All in favor of the resolution as amended, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Resolution PF3, fire service instructor. Probably need to step down again. Therefore, be it resolved that Kentucky Firefighter Association work with the Kentucky Fire Commission to seek necessary changes to Kentucky Revised Statutes on administrative regs to create a position of fire department instructor.
And committee? And committee?
Committee motion is to adopt.
Committee motion is to adopt this resolution. Do I have a motion to do so? Motion, Jimmy Van Cleave motion. Ivan second, Amon second. Okay, now we'll look forward for discussion. Go ahead.
I guess I'm confused. Is that not what a level 1 instructor already is?
You are confused.
Okay, so clarify.
No, it's not. The old level, you go down.
I'm sorry. I just, when I got my level 1, that was, I could do local training. I just couldn't write my curriculum. When I got my level 2, I could write my own curriculum. A level 1 in a fire department should be able to do anything that's already pre-written and trained.
That's the way it used to be. That's not that way anymore. You have a firefighter 1 who can teach anywhere. Mark, you correct me if I'm wrong on anything. Firefighter 1 is exactly like you said, but they can teach anywhere. They're not just restricted to their. Excuse me, fire instructor 1, I apologize. Fire instructor 1 can teach anywhere, but a fire instructor 2 can write their own lesson plans, et cetera, and teach anywhere. So what this was, once again, brought up by the fire departments, that there's some people who are not capable of passing IFSAC firefighter 1 and 2, which is IFSAC fire. No, IFSAC fire. They're not capable of passing IFSAC firefighter 1 and 2 and hazmat awareness and ops, which would qualify them to become an IFSAC Kentucky certified fire service instructor. So I'll set myself an example. If I had to do firefighter 1 and 2 right now, I couldn't do it. I couldn't pass them. I couldn't pass them all. So there are capable individuals who may be able to instruct with lots of years of experience and aren't a certified instructor now. They're capable individuals within a fire department, and how the regulations established doesn't matter. It's that need for it. Once again, coming for the fire departments, that they only get 30 hours training a year from state fire rescue training. That's basically one training session a month. But they want to train more than that and keep people involved, so they can't train if they don't have any instructors in their department. So the move was to say, how